If you remember a while back, I made a video talking about one of Sonic's design principles, like his iconic smirk. Well, today, I want to talk about Sonic's eyes. Now wait a damn minute! Huh? What's up? You already talked about Sonic's eyes before. Well, I didn't. See, actually, actually you did. Literally 3 months ago. Actually, if you let me finish my freaking sentence, I'll tell you. I'm going to talk about his eyes, but it'll be something more thought out. His eyelids. What? Roll the intro.
Okay.
Sonic has had so many inconsistencies over the years. You don't need me to point them out. You watching this video probably already know what I mean. Hell, even his eyelids aren't consistent because there are so many different variations on how Sonic's eyelids emote. Let's start with the beginning. Since the 90s, the color of Sonic's eyelids were a nice tan color, balancing the color scheme with Sonic's tan belly, tan arms, and tan muzzle. It was a unique choice because it didn't feel like the colors of his head and eyelids were blending in or overlapping with each other. Whenever Sonic would show an expression, you would see the tan color of his eyelids popping out so you can tell from what he's expressing. As stated, this is a good design choice because if Sonic's eyelids were blue, then it would throw off the color scheme and will overlap with Sonic's face because the head is already mostly blue. But it's not like they'll change the design philosophy going forward, right? They changed it. But the real question is, when did this change start to occur? Why all of a sudden Sega and Sonic Team decided that they wanted to change the color of Sonic's eyelids? Well, obviously when Sonic had a redesign in the adventure games, they changed the color of his eyelids to accommodate for the redesign, right? Well, what if I told you that is a big fat lie? You see, even with the redesign of the character, the eyelids remained its tan color. As you could see in the original Dreamcast Sonic Adventure in 1998, you can see whenever Sonic shows an expression, he still has those tan eyelids. And in both the original Dreamcast Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001 and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube in 2002, he still has the tan eyelids. And in the first two advanced games, they still kept that design philosophy. So it's not because of the redesign. When did this change going forward start to occur? Well, it was in a little title called Sonic Heroes. You've noticed whenever Sonic blinks, the blue shade of his eyelids show. And this change started to happen with Sonic X as well. See that? Blue eyelids. Also, in Sonic Adventure DX, they changed the tan color of his eyelids to the blue color as well. And you can see this also affecting Sonic Advance 3 in 2004, even though the last two games kept the tan eyelids. In many of the games going forward, the modern design used this design philosophy of the blue eyelids. Since this small design change, how would Sonic Team figure out a compromise that can still show Sonic's expressions with his eyelids? Well, my dear viewer, let me show you this black line right here. See that? Sonic Team saw that the blue eyelids would clearly overlap a lot of Sonic's already blue shade. So to make him emoting his eyes a bit more believable, they gave him this black outline resembling eyelashes. This was a smart compromise without taking away the believability that Sonic is closing his eyes. You can definitely see it show in Sonic X a lot, as well in the advanced games, Shadow 05, the Rush games, and Sonic 06 as well. However, that all started to change around 2008 going forward when they all of a sudden got rid of the eyelashes for the eyelids. Games such as Sonic Riders Zero Gravity and Sonic Unleashed started this change going forward, with Colors, Generations, and Lost World continuing this design choice, even though Classic Sonic kept the tan eyelids, but that's due to the classic design never changing the color in the 90s. But anyways, back to modern Sonic. Having the eyelashes were a good compromise for getting rid of the tan eyelids because it can make the emoting of the eyelids more believable and more pleasing to look at. Without it, it just looks flat. Like nothing visually striking whenever Sonic makes an expression. You just have these blue borders that just covers half of the eyes. It's not terrible by any means, don't get me wrong, because what we about to begin going forward is just nah. But having the eyelashes just makes it so much more appealing in my opinion. Even IDW understood the assignment by giving Sonic his eyelashes. It still has the blue eyelids, yes, but at least they knew how important his eyelashes were, so kudos to IDW for that. But this is where the eyelids take a turn for the worse. Oh, okay, what were they thinking? Like, what are these? I'm sorry, but since Forces, it's like they've made it worse with these. First of all, why do the eyelids look baggy now due to these lumps? I may not be a character designer, but I'm pretty sure eyelids aren't supposed to look like tumors. And Classic Sonic got it even worse cause, ugh. This has been the design choice for Sonic's eyelids going forward in the games like Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations since then. I feel like the fleshy looking eyelids are so ugly to look at. I feel like if they were going to do a touch up on the Sonic model in the future, then they need to go back to the flat looking eyelids with his eyelashes, because as stated, having the eyelashes to accommodate for the blending of the shade of blue was a great choice. So if Sonic Team could bring this back for Sonic's eyelids, that would be great. This is what I could also recommend for Sonic's eyelids. Whenever you see Classic Sonic's design back then, winking or closing his eyes, what do you notice? This is what we need back. Whenever Sonic would wink or simply close his eyes, only the pupils emote by having these lines to show the expression. And the modern design was no stranger to this as well. I mean, in the early days of Adventure, here in this render of Sonic laughing, you can see only the pupils doing the expression and not the whole eyes. I think this used to make perfect sense since, you know, Sonic is a cartoon character down to his core. But ever since then, we strayed further and further away from Sonic's cartoon design philosophy when it comes to his eyes in general, especially when he's winking. Back then, it was simple having only his pupils closing. But after the Adventure era, whenever Sonic would do his signature winking, his whole eye closes instead of the pupil. Even Classic Sonic in recent times lost that bit as well, except for that one moment in the Origins opening. But I think that Sonic's eyelids and eyes in general need to have that cartoon logic again. I think this IDW issue 50 celebration animation by Tyson Hess is a good example by what I mean. You can clearly see Sonic closing his eyes and not his pupils in one frame. But in another frame, when he's winking, you can see he's only closing his pupil. You can have it both ways. I mean, Sonic's eyes are weird in general, so you can add some of that cartoon logic onto his eyes again by having his pupils closed from time to time. The games going forward could take these notes by improving Sonic's eyelids going forward. But what do you guys think about this? Do you prefer tan, blue with eyelashes, or the fleshy eyelids? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below because I love to hear them. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. With that being said, have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace!